Hey everybody, John Skiba here from the Arizona Consumer Law Group. And in today's video, I want to address the question of whether a credit card debt can foreclose on your home. Now, before we jump into that specific question, we need to have really just an underlying discussion on the differences between secured and unsecured debts. Now, an unsecured debt is a debt that doesn't have any property or collateral attached to it. These are typically things like credit card debt, medical bills, personal loans. And we oppose those to secured debts that does have property or collateral attached to it, like home loans and car loans. Now, most people understand if you don't pay your car payment, the car will eventually get repossessed. If you don't make your house payment, eventually the home will be foreclosed on. Well, with unsecured creditors, if you don't pay your credit card, they may do some collections and harass you, and they're going to damage your credit score for sure, but they can't take anything from you unless they take a couple extra steps. The first thing they have to do is file a lawsuit against you and actually obtain a judgment signed by a judge against you saying that you owe that particular debt. Then they can take that judgment and they can record it with the county recorder in the county where you live, and if they do that, it acts as a lien against any real estate that you have in that particular county. And they can do that through every county throughout the state to encumber various different real estate that you may own. If they do that, then they can foreclose on the home, but only if they can pay off all the prior liens as well as your homestead exemption first. Now, the homestead exemption is $150,000 of equity that you are entitled to. So if you have less than $150,000 of equity in your property, you don't have to worry about something like a credit card company coming in and trying to hold a sale on your home. However, if you do have more than $150,000 of equity, there is a risk that they could do that. I can tell you in my practice, I don't see that happen a lot, particularly with smaller type credit cards, just because there's some costs associated with that. They tend to do things like wage garnishment and bank levy, but it is possible. And that's why I always say it's so important. If you get served with a debt collection lawsuit, with a complaint and the summons, and they come by your house, it's important that you respond to it. Because if you don't, they're going to end up with a default judgment. Once they get that judgment, now they can cause some real harm to your life. If you've been sued with a debt collector lawsuit, or if you have questions about what to do now that one's been recorded against your home, there are things we can do to try to resolve it through the courts and even through the bankruptcy court to be able to remove those liens from your home so that you don't have to deal with them or have any of those unpleasant consequences down the road. You can reach out to my office at consumerwarrior.com. That has all the information there where you can set up a consultation to meet with me personally to go over the specifics of your case. Thanks for watching today.